this episode, Ryan reflects on his property manager who is always away on holiday and her workload defaults to Ryan. Will the wheels fall off Ryan's business for these 2 weeks whilst Ryan goes backwards to deal with the day-to-day details and logistics of managing his team? If you're a visionary type or a big picture person, you will understand Ryan's struggle with having to deal with the details. What condition will his business be in 10 days from now? Ryan will keep sending you these episodes if you can leave us a review. Sound like a deal?
Just heading back from Gatwick Airport. It's a bit of a sad day today, to be honest. Let me explain. So, I'm just heading back from Gatwick Airport, and my partner, who's obviously my relationship partner, she's also my business partner for many joint ventures that we do together. But in this capacity, I mean my partner in a relationship. Now, I've just dropped her off at the airport because she's actually flying to the Czech Republic, because this weekend coming is her brother's wedding. Now, she's very, very, very close to her brother. She's like the maid of honor and the best man, and she's given a speech. Of course, she's a girl. That's how close she is. Now, the plan originally was for both of us to go to the Czech Republic. This has been booked for a while, the flights and everything else. However, the wedding is this weekend, Saturday. And we had flights booked for Wednesday. But then because of the pandemic, coronavirus, COVID, everything else, and all of the disruptions that come with it, the flights were cancelled. So the flights were cancelled. We tried to rebook a flight for the Friday. That was cancelled. We tried to rebook a flight like midweek. That was cancelled. And now the Wednesday flight's cancelled, and they've moved into the first and last flight that week, which is Monday, which is today. So now this is nearly a week before. It's 6 days before she now has to fly to get to her brother's wedding. Now, it's a bit sad because I can't go. Maybe you guys are thinking, well, how can she go and I can't go? The reality is, she is actually, not just my partner, she's my business partner as well, and she manages a hotel that I just bought during the pandemic, during the coronavirus, that we opened and launched on the 4th of July. So we're only literally, a month and a half in to opening a brand new 14-bedroom hotel in the city. Now, there's things that need to be automated, which we've tried to automate as many things as possible. We've been recruiting. We've hired 3, 4, 5 staff. Loads of things to get into place. As you can imagine, it's a hotel. It's a lot of management. It's a lot of work. And she does a fantastic job at that. So for both of us to go away at the same time, a week before an event to a different country, and maybe have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even a week after the event to come back, that's easily 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. That's with the flights getting cancelled, all of the shenanigans that go with it, and then on top of that, the fact that we may or we will have to quarantine when we get back. So this whole ordeal would mean I'll say whole ordeal, obviously is a beautiful thing, a wedding, her brother, it's very important for her to be there, it's very important for me to be there as well, but in reality, instead of both of us not being able to be there, one has gone, which is obviously hers, her brother. I'm staying behind because it's 1 whole month out of the business. It's a brand new hotel that I've just opened.
Let me ask you a question. Are you and your family prepared for when the economy crashes and your bank balance goes to zero? In the aftermath of the 2008 property crash, I held a keynote talk in Piccadilly around property investment tactics that work when the economy crashes. And these tactics saved me in the 2008 crash. Let me share them with you real quickly. The first one is buying properties for £1 without getting a mortgage, without putting a deposit down, and without any credit whatsoever. The next strategy is finding properties with £25,000 to £50,000 of instant equity. The next strategy is buying a property today and paying for the property later when it's worth more, a lot more in the future. The next strategy is renting HMOs and student properties and any properties up to 75% below the market rent. This gives you massive cash flow right now. And then the next strategy is raising from £4,000 to £14,000 from properties that you just rent. This can be used as get started cash for whatever you want in your business. Now, I created a free training to walk you through the only strategies that will save your bank balance from going to zero. I'm serious. If you just go to www.propertycrashcourse.com and tell me where to send this free training.
So that's pretty sad that the plans were we were all going together to have fun, to spend some time with her family, to witness the wedding and everything else, and all the great times and the memories and the photos and the history that creates. Unfortunately, I can't be there. So I've just dropped her off at the airport. She's on the flight now. Luckily, the flight wasn't delayed to take off on the day, so it's on time at the moment. God willing, everything is safe and everybody gets there, healthy and safe. And there's not too many disruptions on the return leg. But what this means for me is my manager, who manages the hotel, has now had to leave me for a week, probably 10 days at the least, The flight she's left on now, a week before, and coming back 3, 4, 5 days after that, is at least 10 days. So I'm going without my brand new manager for 10 days, 5, 6 weeks into this brand new venture. So definitely there's challenges, definitely there's hurdles to overcome, definitely there's going to be problems, things that are probably going to be missed. I've been thrown in the deep end. I have got some support, and she's left lots of instructions and made things as simple as possible and queued up all the housekeepers, the cleaners, the linen companies, the admin and everything else, but there is still some day-to-day things for me to do. Now, of course, it's my business and somebody has to step in and do that. And of course, I've done this before in the past, but it's just quite daunting to go back to it when you've grown the company, scaled the company. You used to do this until you built a team, until you employed people, until you scaled, and until you moved further up the ladder away from the day-to-day operations and focusing on the bigger things with the overview above the business to grow the business, not in the business or on the business day to day. So, of course, we'll get there. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride, and I think, is it ego? Maybe it's a bit of my ego. Maybe it's a bit of my entitlement, in a good way, that maybe I think, now I'm building this company, I've moved away from that, I do the thing at the top, I don't do the operations kind of thing of day-to-day of these details. I'm more visual, big picture, find the deal, find the money, structure the deal, get the deal set up, find the people, put them in place, and move on to the next deal. So now I'm going backwards in the trenches, admin, operations, talking to guests, talking to clients, dealing with problems, etc. on this different level. So maybe a bit of my ego, entitlement, I maybe at some stages think that I've left this behind in the past. So anyway, going backwards to go forwards. Yes, I could have had a assistant manager, which is technically me. Yes, I could have maybe had somebody else for support for these 2 weeks of the year. How long would that have taken to have trained somebody to do it, find somebody reliable, work out a package, etc. for them for these 2 weeks or so. And yes, there's lots of other properties that she manages as well. And the deal is her phone is off. She will help out if there's emergencies, but I don't want to disrupt her holiday. She's worked so hard for so long. She's also my business partner for a few deals. She deserves a break. So yeah, this week's going to be problematic. I've been thrown in the deep end, straight into the lion's den today. Now I'm heading to the hotel to be present just so things can be done, and I'm there to deal with any problems, challenges, shenanigans, etc. So watch this space. I'll keep you guys updated. All right.
He's a #1 Amazon bestseller. He's an NLP manipulator. He's a property course seller. He's a Lamborghini driving multi-millionaire property guru. Forget that same old boring I am me narcissistic podcast format, because nobody gives a fuck. This podcast is all about you. So I'm taking these few seconds to thank you for subscribing, to thank you for leaving your 5-star reviews, and thank you for sharing this show with all of your friends. My team and I will keep bringing you these episodes and answering all of your burning questions in my Facebook community group called Property Crash Course. If you can just keep telling all of your friends about this show.